Have you ever asked the question, how can I pay less tax when I'm retired? Or are there any strategies that I should be paying attention to either right before retirement or in retirement? If you've thought about those questions, then watch this video because Tim's going to share a client example. Of course, the names and the specifics have changed, but the result is they were able to maintain the same lifestyle that they had before retirement and maintain that into retirement. And then they also were able to reduce the amount of tax that they paid. And then they increased the amount that they're able to give to heirs and then also to the charities that they care about. Now, the one thing to be aware of with this video is that their net worth is significant. So this couple wasn't too worried about running out of money because of what they have saved. And the reason they came to us was because they knew there were some things they weren't doing related to tax planning and investment strategies, and just making sure it's all coordinated with the income plan and maximizing the estate plan. But please don't focus just on the numbers. Really, there's strategies that Tim's going to share that can help you whether you've got 500K or 5 million. So look for the examples and the strategies and maybe even the principles and not just the dollar amounts here. And if you watch this video and you want to plan like this, then reach out to us on streamlineplanning.com.
So you've done the math and you're feeling pretty good about heading into retirement, about making sure things last for as long as you're living. But you're also looking to optimize your plan for taxes. And how do I maximize my tax benefits over my lifetime? We're going to look at a specific client example today of somebody who we walked through this process with. How do you optimize your plan for taxes? These are not real names, and this is a hypothetical example of what could be accomplished with the proper planning. So we'll take a look at that and see the pretty significant benefits for setting things up the right way and doing ongoing annual tax planning. My name is Tim Meisenheimer, and I'm one of the owners here at Streamline, and excited to jump into this example with you. So we're going to look at two people, a married couple, John Krasansky and Emily Blint, and this is their scenario. They're going to retire this year is their goal. They're going to have one more year of income this year. Number two, they have about $8 million saved between their taxable accounts, their retirement accounts. It does include their home value. And they're looking for about $240,000 or $20,000 a month of living expenses in retirement. On top of that will be taxes. So that's the scenario. Let's take a look at their graph after plugging all of that in. A couple things to consider is we assume inflation when it comes to this $240,000 of annual living expenses, that's going to go up each year. We're using 3% inflation for this projection. For the investment accounts and what's saved in the different buckets. Let me actually show you the different buckets that they have right now. I'm going to move my face so you can see. There is a couple taxable accounts here, so about $900,000 between two taxable accounts, another $600,000 in cash. They're getting their buckets set up, short-term, medium-term, and long-term, to get ready for retirement and help with sequence of returns risk. Then Emily has an IRA with Schwab. John has his 401k still since he's working a little bit this year. And then his rollover IRAs and Roth IRAs at Fidelity, their home value, and their mortgage. So net worth is a little bit over $8 million there. So they have a couple 529 plans for their two children as well, which is just going to help with their college costs. So taking a look at their plan is, overall, again, they're looking at the graph and they've already done this math themselves, but they came to us to take a look at what are the other things we may not be doing that we could be doing to increase the value of our plan or increase the predictability of it or pass on more money to our kids or give more money away. Those are all great questions that we're talking to people about. So there are three parts to this tax planning strategy of how do we minimize taxes over your lifetime. Taxes are one of anyone's biggest expense over their lifetime. So if you think about budgeting and what are the things in my budget I'm going to cut, taxes is probably the biggest one. So it makes sense to spend time on it, on how can we legally minimize what we're paying in taxes and not pay extra. And there's some significant things to retirement that you can do that really can impact your plan in a positive way. So for John and Emily, We're going to pull up their retire in 2024 scenario. Again, you see here, everything's pretty positive. They start out with $7.8 million in investable assets. By the time Emily is age 95, they have about $16 million. Again, there's a bunch of math going on in the background that's calculating this. I don't want to jump into all of that today. What's most important is what are the biggest needle movers when it comes to their taxes? First of all, they have one more year of working. And so what I'm going to do is pull up the tax graph and take a look at that. So the last screen was how much they had in investments. Now we're looking at how much are they going to pay in taxes over their lifetime. This year, when John's going to make another $360,000 of income, they're going to pay $125,000 in taxes. And then you go all the way out to age 95, they might owe somewhere near $400,000 in taxes. A lot of this is going to be due to their IRAs. We just looked at their retirement accounts. If those keep growing and they're just taking out the required minimum distributions, it could be a significant tax bill in the future. So something to look at here is how can we levelize, this tax bill and pay even amounts over time. Now, this is where it's important to be careful. There are a lot of calculators out there that do Roth conversion calculators, and how much some people say convert your entire 401k to Roth in that first year of retirement and just get it out of the way, tax-free growth forever. Financially speaking, sometimes a scenario like that might make sense. It's hard to think about being bumped into the highest tax bracket just to convert everything to Roth. What we often see in practice and in real life is if you take those Roth conversions and you spread them out over time, maybe you're trying to max out a specific tax bracket, which some people try to do like to the dollar. Not as important as looking at how can we spread out this tax liability over the next few years. And you can see here on their graph from 2025 to 2029, there is this window before Social Security starts at 70, before required minimum distributions start, where they could live off of those three taxable buckets that they had. They could do some Roth IRA conversions, and we're going to see the difference it makes in their plan. It's pretty phenomenal. So first here, we've done Roth conversions for 5 years. And so you click on that immediately and you can see you're going to pay more in taxes. And we really locked in what some good numbers would be for the next 5 years. Now, again, you can't just take this and go, this is the play I'm going to run. Tax rates may change in the next couple of years, so you have to stay on top of that. Income may change. Maybe John or Emily gets a consulting gig and increases some of their taxable income. So the ongoing doing tax planning and a forward-looking projection every year is really important. This is just the plan for today, and then we'll adjust as time goes on. So number one strategy for Roth IRA conversions is take advantage of those next 5 years. As you can see, doing those conversions is going to save them potentially $1.2 million in taxes over their lifetime. You can see the taxes increase for 5 to 6 years, and then they're massively decreased. So instead of $400,000 at age 95, it's really like it's under $300,000. So pretty big difference. Again, you could run a calculator that probably saves more in taxes by converting way more now. It's hard thinking that that would be realistic, but hey, maybe do it. Number two part is one of the things that somebody in their position might be thinking about is I'm not going to need all of this. So where are the different places I could use my extra? Do I want, this is a great question, when I'm 95 and my kids are fill in the blank, do I want my kids to be receiving X amount of dollars at that time? What's the worst thing that could happen if they were to receive that at that time? And so some people are looking at how can they give right now? So you can give to family and do annual gifts. You can do gifts to charity, or you could just spend extra and use it on yourself. So as far as tax planning goes, if you're looking at doing a charitable gift for John and Emily, we click on $120,000 charitable gift this year when they're going to retire and they're having a high income year still. A lot of times those last couple years of retirement are great opportunities to give charitably. Another video, we'll talk about donor advised funds and giving appreciated stock as your vehicle for giving money to charity. Now, using a donor advised fund, they wouldn't have to give it all away to the different charities. They could figure out that plan over time. So this is going to save even more in taxes. Let's see what happened there. Turn it off. Roth IRA conversion saves about 1.2 million in taxes. This gift over the lifetime increases that to 1.4. Then when you reach age 70 and a half is when you can start taking qualified charitable distributions from your IRA up to $100,000 for each year. It meets your RMD, and you can send the money straight to a charity. You can't send it to a donor advised fund. So there's some nuances there to make sure you're checking with your CPA or tax professional on. But let's say John does $50,000 in qualified charitable distributions between age 75 and age 95. So that's 20 years, $50,000. That's a total of $1 million given to charity. That's going to save an additional $700,000 in taxes over their lifetime. So a total of about $2 million in taxes saved. So quick summary here, and then I'll let you go. John and Emily retiring this year, $8 million saved, $240,000 of total annual living expenses. They're looking to optimize their income plan for taxes. Here is the results. Over $2.5 million of taxes saved. You saw over $2 million during their lifetime. They've also moved a bunch of money from IRA to Roth IRA. And what that has done is it's reduced the taxes their beneficiaries would pay. This is just a guess, but that they reduced that IRA tax burden by about $2.5 million. So I multiplied that by 20%, and that's how I got $500,000 of tax savings for their beneficiaries. Again, that depends on that beneficiary's tax rate at that time when they're inheriting that IRA. The IRS has changed it to where you only have 10 years to distribute that IRA, so that could be costly for them potentially. Also, their Roth IRA bucket increased by over $9 million because they were converting it early and then letting it grow tax-free. I think overall, the amount they converted was probably $1.5 to $2 million overall. And so that's what, and then those Roth IRAs grew, and they grew tax-free by over $9 million. And then lastly here, over $1 million given to charity. Now, you would think, well, yeah, you know, their plan just got worse. But because the Roth IRA is invested a little more aggressively than what their IRA was, because they weren't planning on using it, and they were planning on using it as an inheritance vehicle for their kids. And I'm not talking about crazy different, like 70-30 to 90-10. We look at the lifetime portfolio value, and doing these three things actually improves their plan, not in the next 20 years, but in those last 7 to 8, it actually made their overall net worth higher. Again, that's not the goal. Just wanted to show you that proper tax planning can really add and increase and optimize your plan. No matter what, your plan doesn't have to look like this. Your plan is going to be customized to you, and you could take advantage of some of those tax planning techniques to increase the chance of success of your plan with the least amount of risk. So I hope this was helpful. Please, if you have any questions, let us know.